Hello there, Bic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 3 on the Series X, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 1-1. It is entitled Anchored. This is just a beautiful game. I love this game. It's got the most quality campaign of any Gears of War. The best gameplay, the best mechanics. It's truly, and the fact that it's at 60 now and higher resolution, 1440p and 60, it's truly an experience that I guarantee you'll find transformative to the original edition. Even if you're playing just on quality mode, and what I call quality mode is taking FPS Boost off. So in the description, like I mentioned in the last video, you have to go into compatibility settings, and I've listed in great detail the process by which you do that to put FPS Boost on. Now, insane difficulty doesn't fuck around, to put it absolutely bluntly. On hardcore difficulty, you can get picked up by your teammates most of the time, but on insane difficulty, when you're done, you're beyond done. And on Gears of War 3, the damage that you receive is higher than any of the other Gears of War games that I'll say that at least came before it, because I'm not too familiar with 4 and 5. I don't like 4 and 5, and whatever the 6th game is, I'm not going to like that either, because I just don't like what they're doing with the series. But weapon switching is ostensibly a problem in this game. I'm sorry, ammo conservation is ostensibly a problem, but you can get around that by switching weapons with your team. And what I mean by that is, if you have a Lancer with low ammunition, you can switch with another teammate who has that same weapon. You give them the weapon that has the lower amount of ammunition, and they will give you theirs, and it'll stack, and you'll add to your Lancer ammunition. The only problem comes when one of your teammates only has one weapon, and you're trying to switch off them. Sometimes problems can occur there. When you rush this guy, if you do choose to rush him, this is a tutorial of sorts, but if you get staggered by anything, because I think he can fire, if you get staggered, you're not going to be able to chainsaw him and he'll kill you. There's also one of those guys, for some reason, in this room, sometimes, I think it has to do with co-op or something, having two of those monsters for 2 players. I'm not sure, but I know I've even got killed by one of those guys in there. But this is a pretty difficult fight. I like to destroy the box at first, so this guy has nothing to hide behind. And what I would recommend at first for weapons, go for the Lancer and the Hammerburst. This game marks the Hammerburst's finest hour, because not only can you use it normally with a reticle that I don't particularly care for, but you can zoom in and use iron sights, and you get a choice of how fast you want to fire the gun, because you can either just hold it and it will go relatively slowly and steadily, but if you tap it really fast, then you can shoot it quickly. So I like that they give you a choice, so if somebody doesn't want to press, click in the trigger every time, he doesn't have to. They didn't let you do that on Judgment. You had to press it every time. You could not hold it. And then as far as the third-person cover trick, it's gone. They do not want you aiming around corners out of cover. They want you in cover. They want you playing the game the way they want to. Sometimes it'll work, like 5, maybe 10% of the time you might get a good angle. But for the most part, the third-person cover trick is a thing of the past in this game, and you can really see how it's tainted when you're in cover. I'm sorry, when you're out of cover and you're trying to aim around cover with the Hammerburst, and you zoom in with the iron sights, and you have this huge block in front of you, and you can see where your bullets are going to be clipping against. So I really like the Hammerburst. And of course, there's some long shots over here that you can pick and choose from if you want to. But since this is mostly close quarters fighting, I'm not going to pick it up. So there are some tenets of the guide that I wanted to talk about too. Any cutscene that's skippable, I do remove those. I do leave in transitional moments that are not skippable. If that bothers you, I do apologize. It was something that I started to do at the beginning of the guide, and then I just inherited that policy throughout the walkthrough for consistency's sake. But this game is just so gorgeous. Also, this spotting mechanism, I'm really wary of this as far as how, first of all, just spot an enemy to get rid of him. The only reason I ever use spotting is to find an enemy that I can't see that's hiding. I don't ever try to spot in the hopes of pulling enemy aggro from, pulling aggro from my teammates over to an enemy. I'm very skeptical about its practicality and whether it even works in the first place. Especially when it's just one enemy. Why would I need to spot just one enemy? Of who else are the teammates going to fire on? It's just kind of silly, but I definitely distrust the spotting mechanic. And the remaining tutorials should be gone, but they'll crop up once in a while. I do have the tutorial hints on, because if you take those off, you don't see the prompts for the weapons on the ground, and it's hard enough to see weapons sometimes that are strewn all over the place. And to not have those prompts when you walk over them, it makes it really difficult to to take advantage of being able to see everything properly. But so that's going to mean that when I'm doing SWAT turns and mantling over cover, you will see prompts. I wish they could take that off. Another thing that's huge in this game, like so huge to the point of it kind of putting the game off, is the view kick, especially with the long shot. What I mean by that is when you're aiming, and it doesn't have to be just with the long shot, but the long shot seems to be the one that really you can feel getting screwed over by aiming, because if anybody fires at you, excuse me, when you're zooming in, your field of view just goes wild, like getting kicked by a donkey, and then you just can't aim properly. Also, these mutators over here, these ones do not transform into different forms. This is just a tutorial chapter as well as the next one. So these ones don't transform or mutate. They will start to mutate though. And one thing I'll say about that is when they have those elongated arms, you always want to shoot the arms, because if you shoot the body, you'll find that one of the arms will come loose and come after you, snake-like. It's got a fair amount of HP. Oh, I didn't even mention this. If you're in cover, at the side of a piece of cover, aiming, and then you move back, you can aim over your left shoulder out of cover, and it's really nifty. And you'll see me doing it on the walkthrough all the time, because I love doing it. I think it's really funny and silly, and just you should be able to do it in the first fucking place, but it's so funny to do it. I love doing it, but it doesn't give you any more safety. Plus, any context-sensitive action, such as reloading a gun, or going up to cover, mantling over anything, or running out of bullets, and with the audio, this was really scary. See what these guys do? I hate when they do that. You also might notice that the Lambent have bright yellow patches on their bodies. Those signify increased areas of damage on their part. So if you shoot those spots, you theoretically deal them more damage. But that doesn't mean you can't go for headshots and things like that. So it's just a conceit that the game has you do. You don't always fight Lambent, but and that's what I like about this game. You're always doing something different. You're always doing interesting tasks. You're always fighting different enemies, and you're always in these beautiful locations. And there's a couple of times when the characters switch and you're a different character. Probably not enough, but at least you have the choice of playing as a male character all the time. I don't like how in the fifth game you fight as a woman. I have nothing against women. Oh, this is really aggravating too. I think I mentioned it many times. When the fucking teammates throw smoke, they always do it. I wish they would not throw smoke. It just takes too long. I can't see anything, and it's just, why throw smoke? you know? I never throw smoke. There's no point to doing it. The smoke grenades are to screen your movement, in theory, so that you can run past enemies, but it doesn't work on Insane. Not very well, anyway. And they can also be used to detonate other frags that you have tagged into the ground. So if you tag one or two frags on the ground and then throw a smoke grenade, it should detonate. Oh, be very careful over here. There's going to be one or two guys that are a little bit too close for comfort over here, so I'm not sure where the spawn point is. Probably past this yellow line right over here. But I would come up here and get the high ground, because you know what that guy's going to do. He's going to vault over and mantle kick you and kill you. He might not, but this is Insane, so he probably will. And then the only thing left to do after this is just to go down the stairs. You're going to be grabbing a fire extinguisher, putting out some flames, and saving Prescott in the captain's quarters. And there's going to be, I think, a grub hold up in there. Maybe two. We'll shortly see. Okay, so grab the fire extinguisher. The second you get fired on, press B, drop it, and go and cover, because there's a mutator over here, and he won't screw around with you at all. The fire up there you don't need to put out. There's a gun rack over to the left that you may have noticed earlier that's now unlocked. I think there's a shotgun, a sawed-off. You'll never see me use the shotgun on this game. I hate it. You might see me use the sawed-off once in a while, but I hate the fact that the sawed-off in this game only has one shot until you have to reload it, and the reload is about the slowest reload possible. But this is the captain's quarters right over here, and I think that about should do it. I will see you in the next video, and until then, please do take care.
Fucking head down!